He had to cover a long distance just to recover one foul ball in the stands, but in the end, it was worth it. Cheyenne post 6 at the Casper Oilers. Top of the first, Cheyenne batting. Dustin Parker is going to ground his way into a fielder's choice at shortstop. All the opposition could do was get him out at first because Cameron Johnson has already scored to make it a 1-0 game. Top of the second, after giving up that run, Kyle Keith would settle down and things started to go his way. This game was a rematch of last year's state AA title game, and it was living up to its billing in the early goings. Bottom of the second, the Oilers would find some gold. Tanner Fisher's going the opposite way for a base hit. That would bring in Delane Doyle to tie the score at 1. Same inning, a bases-loaded walk would give Casper a 2-1 advantage. Then Brett Kotzman's going to sacrifice himself for the cause. He gave that ball enough distance that it would open the door for Fisher to slide on into the plate to give the home team a 3-1 lead. Top of the third, Keith was packing the heat as the post 6 bats had some problems trying to fan the flames. He wanted this game, and so far, he was living up to his end of the deal. Next batter, same result. This was a big division game for the two teams because there's less than 1 month to go until the postseason. Top of the fourth, Keith ended up getting around half a dozen strikeouts or so. There's another victim, and last year's AA state runner-ups were keeping their rivals in check for a while. The visitors did get their moments here and there. This looks like double trouble out at second, but great hustle by Logan Followell to beat the relay throw to first. That would enable Isaac Taylor to put a run on the scoreboard, and now it's a 3-2 ball game. Bottom of the fourth, Cheyenne would have their moments on the mound as well. Isaac Block had a pretty mean fastball himself, and he got his share of Ks as well. Later, runner on first, and he fell for it. Block to Parker to Johnson for the pickoff. That would end up saving a run in the long term and keep this at a 1-run game. Bottom of the fifth, more defense. Johnson to Tracy Callahan to Parker for the 6-4-3, and you could sense the momentum was shifting over to the 4-time defending AA state champs, even though they still trailed 3-2. Bottom of the seventh, this was the turning point of the game. Runners on first and second with no outs, both would move up on the single. Now, bear with us, it got a little confusing. We thought the play was going to happen at the plate. Instead, all of the action was at third. One runner tried to move up another base. The problem was that the runner ahead of him was not on the same game plan. The result was mass confusion. Both runners would get caught and tagged out in rundowns for an unusual double play. Credit to post 6. That was some superior heads-up defense to get themselves out of a jam. The Oilers, though, would get 2 more runners on base, but Block would make sure they stayed there. Everything was going Cheyenne's way, and now they got to get the bats going and get some runs. Top of the 8th, the offense finally showed up. Parker's going to get extra bases on this one and wind up with a double when it was all said and done. Callahan has already scored to tie this game at 3, and give us a moment. Landon Liebeck is going to come all the way around from first and go home. The lead has changed hands as the visitors are now up 4-3. The next batter is Taylor. He'll get a base hit past the diving shortstop. Casper's defense had to do something soon or else they were going to be in trouble. Great throw from Dan Reese in left field, and Cody Lukow will put the tag on Parker. That would stop the bleeding for a little while. Bottom of the 8th, now we got ourselves a battle. But watch this one. Followell did not lose sight of that foul ball. You normally don't see a catcher making a diving play like that, but he was taking no chances whatsoever. Meanwhile, the Oilers were still looking for that elusive run. Reese is at third. Cheyenne tried to pick him off, and that plan went haywire. That's the run that the home team needed, and now the score is knotted up at 4. Top of the 9th. Here's where the floodgates opened. Johnson is just keeping it simple. Single to center field. That will get Dixon Maggard in, who took off from second as soon as the bat made contact with the ball. Post 6 is back up 5-4. Next batter, Liebeck with 2 runners in scoring position. Going the opposite way is usually a pretty effective strategy to get them in. Callahan scores, and Johnson is not far behind him. 3 big runs in the 9th for the visitors as they would go up 7-4. Bottom of the 9th, Casper needs something, anything, and they got nothing. Mason Munford comes in to get the save and did not disappoint his teammates as Cheyenne post 6 would get a big win on the road, 7-4.